Now on CoastTV News.
Internal tensions heating up at the Lewes Fire Department in the fallout of the fire chief suspension. What CoastTV learned at their meeting last night. And it's the first day of school for Cape Henlopen School District. What teachers are saying they're preparing for.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Grace Eckerly. Welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Starting off with what might just be arguably one of the best views on our coast. A beautiful day for a walk on the boards in Rehoboth. Just some folks enjoying this gorgeous weather. And here is our first alert meteorologist, Bob Trihey, joining us now with the first look at the forecast. How about that view, Bob?
Oh, just soak it in, Grace. Just beautiful. You see a lot of folks on the beach, but not so much in the water because it's cool out there. It's only 69 in Lewes right now, 71 in Bethany and Rehoboth Beach. Water temperature is probably higher than the air temperature right now, into the mid-70s, and we've got low to mid-70s inland areas. So it's another cooler than normal day as we have a northeast breeze, not too strong, gusting close to 15 along the coast, a little lighter inland areas. So the wind's not as big a factor today. Visible satellite picture showing those cumulus clouds popping up over land once again. And we've seen a few little showers offshore this morning. Nothing in the way of rain expected, just a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon as we have high pressure right over the top of us, but we're still looking at this easterly flow keeping us a little cooler. At noon on Futurecast, low to mid 70s inland areas, for the beaches 60s and 70s. Some places not even getting out of the 60s, so lower 70s for you, mid 70s inland with a mix of sun and clouds, maybe as high as 77 in Seaford later this afternoon, but once again cooler at the beaches and a pleasant evening on the way. Day part forecast has us in the mid 70s, and I think we finally do go close to average tomorrow with the temperatures with a warm up, and those 80s continue into a part of the weekend. Then some shower and storm chances possible Saturday. More in your forecast coming up in a little bit.
Our top story this morning. The developing situation involving the Lewes Fire Department and former Chief Bill Buckaloo. CoastTV News was told a topic of discussion at a Tuesday night meeting was the department was going to do about Buckaloo. He was suspended in July for some background on the situation, and the suspension came after the city received a complaint about Buckaloo's behavior in a local restaurant. CoastTV was at that meeting last night where multiple members of the Lewes Fire Department tell us they got an email from the department president, Wally Evans. In that email, Evans saying Buckaloo, quote, was accused of loudly using the N-word in a derogatory and loud manner, which was overheard by a black patron. Evans went on to say he spoke with Bill, who confirmed that he made the comment and tried to apologize. The meeting was closed to the public, and we are awaiting confirmation about what occurred. Following Buckaloo's suspension, the Lewes Fire Department held an election to pick a new fire chief, Robert Stevens, now currently serving that fire chief role. And for full disclosure, the current fire chief, Robert Stevens, is the husband of CoastTV's assistant news director and anchor, Madeline Overturf. And the book bags packed and students are heading back to school in the Cape Henlopen School District. A new school year bringing a fresh start. The classrooms are cleaned, decorations in place, and anticipation for the school year ahead is amping up. CoastTV News spoke with a second grade teacher at Milton Elementary School, and here is what Miss Mitchell is looking forward to.
When they're coming in, they're excited, they're bringing their supplies in, they're going to see who their best friends are here, they're going to create new friends. It's just a welcoming, fun, loving environment.
As students head back to school, we're going to see more school buses on the roads, and according to DelDOT in 2024, there were a total of 174 school bus crashes in Delaware, 36 of those happening in Sussex County. DelDOT is reminding drivers to always double-check crosswalks, use caution in school zones, never tailgate a school bus, and stop when the school bus arm is extended. The people at Indian River School feeling a little bit cramped. Officials say the Indian River School is already overcrowded by 100 students. The district wants to build a career and technical education center, and they submitted a certificate of necessity to the state. District officials now saying the new center would cost $36 million. 60% of that total would be state funded, and the district would have to provide the rest.
I do believe, though, when it comes to projects such as this with the culinary, and knowing that the southern end of our district is close to the beach areas where tourism, hospitality is a very much needed trade.
For reference on when an answer could be coming from the state, last year the Cape Henlopen School District submitted a certificate of necessity in August and got a response from the state government in November. Let's take a live look now into Washington, D.C. on this Wednesday morning. News from the White House. Lawmakers from both parties now urging the Department of Justice to release all records related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. That is, despite the Trump administration saying there's nothing new in those files. NBC's Alice Barr shows us what Epstein survivors say, what justice would look like for them.
For young people using that power.
After years of suffering, 9 survivors or relatives of Jeffrey Epstein's sexual abuse finding strength in numbers.
Alone we are afraid, together we are feared.
Sitting down exclusively with NBC's Hallie Jackson.
How old were you?
I was 14.
And standing up for their stories they believe have been sidelined in a political fight over the Epstein files, saying none of them has been contacted by the Department of Justice.
We haven't been protected and we haven't been informed.
The survivors meeting with lawmakers, raising the pressure for the Trump administration to release more documents and reopen the DOJ investigation.
There's been a severe miscarriage of justice, a delay in accountability.
On Tuesday, the House Oversight Committee released more than 30,000 pages of Epstein files subpoenaed from the Justice Department. Most of the material had already been made public. Now, a bipartisan-led petition aims to force a vote on releasing the full files.
We want to bring justice to every single person who was involved in the Epstein evils of the cover-up thereof, but we also want to be equally certain that we protect the innocent victims.
The survivors in this room pushing to maintain what accountability they have seen, urging President Trump to rule out a pardon for convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, angry over the attention she's received for her story and working to center theirs.
On the island.
In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Coming up on CoastTV News Midday, it was a busy month for firefighters in Delaware. Georgetown Fire Company releasing their August stats. After the break, just how many calls those crews responded to. A federal appeals court has blocked the Trump administration from removing alleged Venezuelan gang members from the U.S. under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals voted 2-1 on Tuesday to grant a preliminary injunction that blocks deportations of alleged Tren de Aragua members. The Fifth Circuit limited its ruling to the use of the Alien Enemies Act for removal and said it does not cover other legal meanings of removing, quote, foreign terrorists. And this morning over in Georgetown, we have statistics showing just how active the fire company was during the month of August. According to the fire company, they responded to 74 alarms, 43 of those within town limits. The company traveled a total of 667 miles in responses year to date. The company reporting 548 alarms. Coming up next on CoastTV News after the break, why Amazon users could see their subscription costs going up, the program Amazon Prime is putting an end to, and how it's targeting families.
Our gorgeous early September weather continues. Look at this shot looking over Delaware Bay and Lewes, 71, and we're only warming into the mid to upper 70s. It's the last slightly cool day, and then it's back to the 80s finally tomorrow into a part of the weekend. More humidity, maybe a slight chance of showers too. Congratulations to Barry Simple from Lewes. He is a new umbrella winner, courtesy of Paul Davis and Coast TV. Your full forecast is next. If you're getting tired of our cooler than normal temperatures, hang in there. This is the last cool day. Then we're back into the 80s tomorrow into a part of the weekend. But right now, a beautiful shot looking over Sussex County in Laurel on the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Camp. 73 degrees. Just beautiful out there, but temperatures still running below average. We should be in the low 80s, but I don't think we're getting there this afternoon with upper 70s. And a reminder, join us out at the Shore Living Expo this Saturday from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. at the Wycomico Youth Civic Center. Center will be there. All of the Coast TV personalities will be there, and we'll be saying hello and probably handing out some swag as well, as we'll be looking at 70s and then 80s. It's going to be breezy on Saturday in Salisbury, maybe some storms by 6 p.m. So keep that in mind for your evening plans, maybe a few showers and storms with a cold front. Otherwise, low to mid 70s right now, the exception 69 in Lewes, Redden 71, 73 in Dagsboro, Ocean City 71, Delmar and Gumboro at 72, as we have a northeast breeze, not as strong as the past couple of days, but we'll continue to see that onshore flow. And we're seeing gusts 14 to 17 miles per hour along the coast and lighter inland areas. And we're also seeing some cumulus clouds popping up with this flow off the ocean. Just some fair weather cumulus clouds, also some cirrus clouds floating in from the west. So that means it's a mix of sun and clouds this afternoon with high pressure anchored right over the top of us. We continue with that cooler easterly flow, but eventually this high will slide offshore. We'll get into more heat and humidity as we go through the week. And here's another series of cold fronts across the Midwest. These will be heading our way Friday into the weekend. Unfortunately, not much in the way of moisture with that system, as we're watching high pressure sliding offshore the rest of the week with sun and clouds. Highs in the 70s today, then 80s beginning on Thursday and continuing into the weekend. Lows in the 50s tonight and increasing humidity. And this front back to our west could trigger a few showers into the weekend. Here's Futurecast at 1 p.m. Mid 70s away from the beaches. Another cool beach day, 60s and low 70s. That's it at the coast this afternoon. Otherwise, mid to upper 70s inland areas. Make sure you have a jacket this evening. It's going to cool down into the 50s to near 60 off to work and school tomorrow. Southerly winds kick in, and here comes a warmth. 83 to 84 inland areas. Breezy with 70s at the coast. Maybe a slight chance of showers, maybe a storm to our north and west Thursday night, but this system is pretty much starved for moisture. And as we head into Friday morning, we're looking at temperatures in the 60s. Then it really warms up on Friday into the upper 80s, cooler 70s and 80s at the coast, as we'll see an onshore wind start to turn out of the south. And it gets pretty strong, gusting over 30 miles per hour Thursday. Still pretty breezy into Friday morning, bringing in more of the muggy conditions as we're comfortable now, but then very humid by Friday and Saturday. Then it dries out again after a front for this weekend. So I think for the most part, Thursday night, those storms stay to our north, and then Friday it's dry, and then Saturday we have a weak system moving through, a cold front, and maybe a few showers and storms with it, but right now not looking at any appreciable rain. 78 in Seaford and Georgetown today, 75 in Lewes, Eastern Shore, mid 70s, close to 80 in Federalsburg, and we're looking at upper 70s in Salisbury, 75 Ocean City. Paul Davis 7-day forecast warming up into the 80s. We've got the Eagles and Cowboys on Coast TV Thursday night, upper 80s Saturday, a few storms, and then it's Sunday night football, and it's feeling like football weather, mid 70s into early next week and lows in the 50s.
Hope you're enjoying your day so far here along coastal Delmarva, but if you tune into Coast Life at 4 o'clock, it can get even better because we're going to be talking what's new at the Art League of Ocean City. We'll also be discussing their first Friday event, certainly something that you don't want to miss. Also, cozy season is nearly here. Maybe you're looking for a new read and some friends to discuss it with. That is where a new book club might be just your speed. And we're also celebrating the 47th annual Nanticoke Powwow. We've got the details on that and so much more for you today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Amazon Prime members have long been able to share the free shipping benefits with people outside of their household. Now, Amazon putting an end to those benefits. The company says it's shutting down the Prime NVT program on October 1st. Those perks now only going to be available through Amazon Family, which allows sharing with one other adult, plus kids and teens, obviously, but that's only if they share the same address. Anyone else will have to buy their own membership. In a letter to Congress, more than 1,000 current and former employees of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services demanding RFK Jr. resigns. What that letter reads and what the department is now warning the nation. More than 1,000 current and former employees of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services now demanding that RFK Jr. resigns. They sent a letter to Congress. It argues that RFK Jr.'s leadership has, quote, put the health of all Americans at risk and demanded his resignation. The letter comes after the Trump administration ousted the CDC's newly confirmed director, Dr. Susan Menarez. That spurred the resignation of 4 other senior officials at the Public Health Agency. An over-the-counter nasal spray could prevent COVID-19. According to a new study, it showed that the people who took the spray over 2 months had lower infection rates. The lower infection rates include the flu, RSV, and a well-known COVID virus. Authors of the study still say the nasal spray shouldn't be a replacement for the vaccines, and the study was made up of mostly young and healthy patients, but the results still show a positive breakthrough.
Our gorgeous early September weather continues. Lower 70s in Ocean View. Most of us in the mid 70s this afternoon. Big warm up. 80s start tomorrow into a part of the weekend, and the humidity is back too. Call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone. It's sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Your 10-day forecast is next.
Body camera footage showing the moment where a 5-year-old escaped his Jacksonville home, made a clean getaway, and wandered alone to a Chick-fil-A for a peaceful breakfast. Authorities saying the young escape artist is safe, well-fed, and probably negotiating for waffle fries at dinner. No charges filed unless you're counting the extra sauce.
Wow, and a good place to escape to for sure. This afternoon, a mix of sun and clouds, pretty cool. Temperatures in the 70s, and then we're into the 80s on Thursday. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, upper 80s Friday, dry, maybe some storms later Saturday, 88 degrees. And then Sunday is Sunday night football day, mid 70s. It's going to be cool and then cool and dry into next week.
Thank you for joining us here on Coast TV News Midday. For more local news and weather, download our Coast TV News app. And don't forget to join us back here at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.